in the beautiful, loving message from Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. This is lesson 4 of 4 regarding that amazing thing called innate. We encourage you to hear the other 3 channels that give information in a sequence that makes sense. What is it? Where is it? How do you access it? And finally, some of the attributes that might be a mystery. Innate is that amazing smart body, that thing you might say, that attribute you might say, that knows what you don't about you. Innate is used for muscle testing. It's the secret for the placebo effect, for spontaneous remission. It is that which has some mysteries that no one has solved. The first, that it exists at all, since it is not measurable. Here is a mystery about innate. Let's share it. There must be some processes in your body, I'll call them triggers, that start a cascading of healing energy. When you can have something that goes into a spontaneous remission that is so fast, you would assign it to a miracle. What if instead innate knows of some processes in your body, some triggers, that when they happen, there is an enhanced energy of miraculous cascading healing. These are the things that we have seen on this planet, that my partner has seen. Instantaneous healing. This is always assigned to a higher power, to some kind of miracle, when all along, dear ones, these were the triggers of your own body. This has never been seen in medicine. However, it has been seen constantly, especially in spiritual circles, for hundreds of years. I'll tell you that those are the things that deserve analysis. These are the things that innate has been using for a very long time, because you have asked for it, or because you needed it, life-saving at the moment, that are mysteries to this day. Innate is very unusual. We gave it away in the last Circle of 12, but if you're listening to this channel and you're not a member of the Circle of 12, let me inform you now. Innate is part of your soul. Now it has to be for the next attribute to be explained. There would be those who would say, now you've gone too far, Kryon, because innate obviously is something that is part of your cellular structure. It tells you all about the things that you need for your cellular structure, and so why would it be part of your soul? So let's go slowly. Part of profound healing is getting beyond the blocks that you've had from past lives. Let's say it again. Part of your profound healing are dealing with the blocks that have come with you from past lives. There is a subconscious mechanism, sometimes it comes in with you from past life experience. Most of you know this. Those of you listening to this program would be aware of it, since so many of those guests who have been on the program have discussed it. Rewriting the codes, they'll call it. Where did the codes come from? From birth. Why were they there at birth? From past lives. There's a lot of clearing that must be done for healing. So there's no magic that then takes away those particular blocks. There has to be something that knows you, works with you, knows what they are, may have even been with you while they occurred in a past life. Welcome to the amazing mystery of the innate. Innate must be part of your soul because it knows about those blocks, dear ones. If you start to think about it, innate might be something far grander, more powerful. It might be a soul partner. It comes in with you with some very, very interesting attributes. It is so powerful in that department. Let me give you something else to think about. There are some women listening to this now who have a situation. And when they learn about it, it's frightening. Specifically women. They'll say there is inherited disease. It seems to come in with the genes somehow. My mother died of it. My sister died of it. And I'm afraid of it. Bless you if you are one of these, for this is something that sits upon your consciousness. Perhaps sits upon your very most inner thoughts. These are things that you would awaken to and wonder, is it going to visit you? Healings have been accomplished many, many times that will remove the ancestral DNA or genome attribute that would cause that. You get that? In order for this to work for you and be removed from it, that has to come out of your past so completely that it affects even the lineage that you have. Almost like rewriting part of your lineage. And yet, the innate can do it. The innate has done it. There are some of you who are also listening to this who know I'm right, because you have had all of that dismissed through profound healings that you have generated yourself, through your consciousness, through cognizing the talking to yourselves. So a woman who says, "Dear innate, I wish that ancestral disease link to be broken with me so that I will not get the disease, and are you ready? And neither will my children." It stops here, innate. And the question is, can you do that, innate? You don't say that. I told you from earlier messages, it's a command. Because innate is there as a soul partner to do the things that you are awakening with the understanding to be able to ask for them. Is that too much to understand? You are awakening to your power, you might say, to control your own body. And part of this is that ancestral link that you can stop right now. Oh, dear one, there's someone here who needed to hear that. Can we celebrate that together? You needed to hear that. It's very doable. Now, how big is the innate now? It knows your ancestry, your biological ancestry. It also knows your Akashic record. That's your soul partner. It comes in with you. 2 more items that you should know about. The innate has some attributes that you'll find also with spirit itself. Number 1, innate is quiet. You never know it's there until you awaken to its presence and start working with it. An interesting thing that would come in with you, isn't it? You'd think that innate would arrive ready to help and start working with you immediately. But if you say nothing, nothing happens. If you sit at a restaurant and never order food, it never comes. You may come to that restaurant over and over. It's an odd thing. Would it not be an odd thing to go to a restaurant over and over and simply sit at a table and then leave later? Welcome to humanism, because that's what you've been doing. You've been coming to that place wishing to have the healing, never understanding there's a menu in front of you called innate. Innate will do nothing until you awaken to a place where you know you can work together to make it happen. Think of that for a moment. That explains so much. Why a human can go into so many attributes of despair, of fear, of being a victim, and never, ever have any way of coming out because they don't know about that menu of innate. If that's you, now you know. Again, I would ask you to review the first 3 lessons. The final attribute, a sobering one, and one that happens completely and totally all the time. Innate obeys your instructions. And if you say, innate, I want to be sick tomorrow, you'll be sick tomorrow. Innate has no judgment, dear ones. It has no filters, dear ones. It is here to serve you. And so in your life, if you are afraid of catching every disease that might be out there, innate will make sure you do. Did you hear me? This is that soul partner that does what you ask, dear ones. It does what you ask. Think about your words when you're at home alone. What instructions are you giving to innate with the things that you might say? When you would say, oh, I knew that would happen. Only bad things are happening to me. I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. Some bad thing, perhaps? Innate will line it up for you. For those who would say, all manner of bad things happen to me all of the time. They say, is this just me, or is that really true? And I will tell you, yes, it's really true, because that is what you have brought to you. Did you ever think of that? Maybe it's time to go to that restaurant, pick up that magnificent menu of healing, and start an order that you will not ever, ever, ever forget. One of the things on that menu at the top says, I am magnificent. Here are the magnificent things. Number 1, I'm not a victim. Number 2, I was born magnificent. Number 3, I have a soul partner called Innate that was built to heal and help and bring me into the magnificence of who I really am. What a concept. Mysterious indeed. Actionable, yes. Doable, yes. It's there in front of you. Tens of thousands have discovered this and know about innate and the magic that can be yours. I am Kryon, in love with humanity. And so it is.
And very gently now, moving your awareness back into your body. If you've had those beautiful, precious eyes of yours closed, we invite you to open your eyes and moving your awareness not just back into your body, but back into the room. Feel the connection with the energy of the earth that is supporting you. And now that we have your awareness and your attention back in your body, we want to introduce you to someone who is so amazing and had their own miraculous healing, which has created a totally new body of work on the planet. And his name is Brent Michael Phillips. And let's just make sure that Brent is here with us. Brent, are you there?
I am here.
Yoo-hoo! Wonderful. Well, we want to tell everyone about you, don't we, Lee?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I am really relating to Brent because we're both, if I can say it, we're both kind of nerds. I mean, I'm not at his nerd level, but I really enjoy the kinds of brain this man has. And he won't say it, it's not even his bio, But in the early days at MIT, he actually worked with the beginning of the internet, folks.
Exactly.
So you have Brent to thank for all these issues that are good, of course. Brent Michael Phillips is an MIT-trained engineer who experienced a staggering physical challenge when, after years of total disability due to injuries and illness, his arm became immobile and frozen at the elbow after a surgery. I can't even fathom what that must have been like. But this is a good part. After a long battle of unsuccessful treatments, Brent discovered the miracle of energy healing when, are you ready? His arm was instantly and miraculously healed.
Now, for some people, that would have been enough. They would have moved on with life and rejoiced at their healed arm. But Brent knew that his life path was fortuitously altered. He spent years studying with various master healers and spiritual teachers and shamans all over the planet to discover how this worked. And the reason? Well, he wanted to reverse engineer the scientific laws and principles underlying that miraculous instant healing, which also applies to financial abundance, loving relationships, and even enlightenment itself.
Brent is the center of Awakening Dynamic System, which consists of advanced consciousness technology based on the 7 sacred tools of higher dimensional living. He leads a group of certified teachers and practitioners dedicated to sharing the amazing simplicity, I like that part, speed and power of awakening dynamics through classes and private sessions.
Now, Brent is also an award-winning author on Amazon.com. He's the #1 best-selling co-author and inventor of the patent-pending formula, which is known as MIRACULOUS audio technology. And this technology, it actually clears your subconscious blocks while you listen to it. That technology is being utilized in his transformational programs, including 30 Days to Awakening, the Formula for Wealth, Unleash Your Inner Millionaire, and The End of Suffering for a Lifetime. So here is a man who truly is melding science and spirit together. Brent, tell us your story. I can't wait to hear it firsthand from yourself.
And welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's great. I've been a long-time Kryon reader, so I'm really excited to be here. And the first thing I need to admit to everybody is I never thought I'd be doing anything like this. Oh my gosh. When I grew up, I thought that all this was just a bunch of hippie nonsense because I was just a total nerd. I loved computers, Dungeons and Dragons, Star Wars, Star Trek, all that stuff. Ended up in college at MIT, fell in love with the internet. And when I was in grad school, I was really fortunate. I was part of the Telemedia Networks and Systems group with Professor Tenenhouse. And my master's thesis was actually the first time anybody had ever sent live audio and video over the web in 1994. So I was really excited. I was one of the best software engineers in the world specializing in the internet right at the start of the internet boom. So when the internet boom happened, I left MIT figuring, well, this will be easy. I'll move to California, start a tech company, work really hard for a couple of years, make millions of dollars, and then retire to some tropical island, spending my days hot tubbing with supermodels. Well, it didn't work out quite so well, right? We had a great start. Yeah, we did have a great start. I recruited my lifelong best friend. The first website I created in my whole life was the website for the launch of the Sony PlayStation in the summer of 1995. So that was a huge hit. We had a bunch of Fortune 500 clients. I did the first website for Nissan Motors, Disneyland, all these great companies. I had 15 people working for me a year later. And then it all exploded because to create my success, I was willing to work as hard as it took. I was at the office literally 70, 80, sometimes 90 hours a week. And my body couldn't handle it. And after a few years of this rigorous work schedule, my body broke down. And long story short, I went to doctors. They sent me to physical therapy. I spent 3 years in physical therapy, but I wasn't getting better. I was getting worse. And after 3 years, I finally got in to see the head doctor at Carroll, which is the top physical therapy clinic in the Western United States. It's where all the Olympians and professional athletes go. And I thought, wow, this guy will be able to fix me, right? Because I was in so much pain, I couldn't work. I had to move in with my parents. I was in so much pain that I couldn't even drive more than 5 to 10 minutes at a time. If I drove anywhere, I'd actually have to pull over to a parking lot and rest for a few minutes because just holding the steering wheel was too painful. So this wasn't just a little tingle in my wrist. This was debilitating pain, right? And the doctor looked at my charts and just said, well, I'm sorry, son, but there's nothing I or any doctor can do for you. You'll never be able to work again. And I'm going to put you on permanent disability now so you can get used to it. And I was just like, what? And the last thing he said before I left his office was, well, son, is there someone that can take care of you until you die? And he put me on permanent disability, and I was 27 years old. And this was crushing. When I told my best friend about it, I figured he'd be all, hey, Brent, hang in there. We got your back. We'll get through this together. No, he fired me from my position at the company, turned around and sold it for $8 million and offered me nothing. So long story short, I was left in severe chronic pain, living with my parents on permanent disability, given no hope of recovery. I had had this multi-million-dollar company I had created stolen from me by my best friend, who also I found out had been secretly dating the woman I was in love with. So this was a true dark night of the soul. Everything went wrong. I mean, I had been on top of the world a few years before, and now I was suicidal. I was using drugs. I was getting drunk in the afternoon, and I really thought my life was over. I was very lucky, though. I had a friend turn me on to positive thinking. Nowadays, we call it the law of attraction. Back in the 90s, it was positive thinking, all the same stuff, right? This is what I call first generation consciousness technology. And it actually helped me because it pulled me out of the gut. I started going to positive thinking weekends and masterminds. I put power words on my walls and a vision board and all that stuff. Now, it didn't really change much in my life, but it did get me to stop day drinking and using drugs and thinking about killing myself. But it didn't help my body. And so long story short, I then got involved in alternative medicine. And I thought, hey, maybe this kooky hippie stuff will actually work. I did acupuncture and chiropractors and osteopaths and naturopaths and herbs and cleanses and diets and magnets and all this crazy stuff, right? 5 years of this, nothing but treatment. I didn't get better, I got worse. And it all came to a head when I had had an experimental surgery that a doctor thought would help me. And when I woke up from the surgery, my arm was completely frozen at the elbow. I couldn't move it at all. And so this was like a whole nother level of disability. I couldn't drive. I couldn't brush my teeth. I even had trouble dressing myself. And it was really pretty horrible. And it was like that for about 4 months. And then I was introduced to this crazy healer lady named Carrie. She was an old friend of my Aunt Lauren. And my aunt had been bugging me so much. I'm like, Lauren, I will go see Terry if you promise you'll just leave me alone, right?
I totally relate to that story completely. Yeah, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to go to